Merhabalar herkese. Hepiniz IEFT Talks webinarlarına hoş geldiniz. Bugün İngiltere'nin en iyi üniversitelerinden University of Sheffield'da en ekonomik ve istihdam oranı en yüksek işletme okulu için Julia, Asif, Serena, Brony ve Zeynep Hanım bizlerle olacak. Lütfen sorularınızı soru cevap bölümünden yönlendiriniz. Yes, Julia, the stage is yours now.
Thank you very much. Well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. If you don't catch all of the information today, don't worry. This is being recorded and will be available on IEFT's YouTube channel, and we'll obviously be promoting it afterwards as well. So my name is Julia Pitchford, and I'm the recruitment manager specifically for Europe from the University of Sheffield. And today we're going to be discussing why Sheffield, so a bit about the city, the university, but most specifically today we'll be discussing why study business management courses with us here in Sheffield. So I'm going to share my screen and then we'll start, and I'll introduce you to who's joining us today as well. Can I just get confirmation that you can see my presentation there?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect, thank you. So my contact details are here if you do want them. As I say, my name is Julia Pitchford. My email address is there. And I have appointments available one-to-one on Calendly if you want to book one of those with me. But alternatively, we do have a trusted representative who works with us in Turkey, and they are called Educas. So if you want to discuss applications to come over and how to apply for funding and your visas, then they can give you all of that information and support. So the agenda for today, as I said, firstly, we'll be discussing why Sheffield in particular. I'll give you a bit of information about entry requirements and scholarships, because I know those are the most important things that people are wanting to know about now. And then I'll hand over to my colleague Asif Naeem, who I'm welcome to say is joining us from the Sheffield Management School. So he can give you much more information that's specific to those particular courses. And then alongside Asif, we also have two international student ambassadors here at the University of Sheffield, and they're studying business management courses and can tell you much more about their own experiences, and particularly about study abroad and year in industry as well. And then I can give you more information about how to contact our agents as well. Hopefully we'll have time at the end for some question and answers. So if you do have any questions that we haven't covered during our presentations, then feel free to ask those at the end. So then, why choose the University of Sheffield? Well, just in case you don't know where exactly we are, this is where we are, right in the centre of the UK. So great central location for travelling around the rest of the UK. We're just an hour and 10 minutes from Manchester Airport, which would be your direct flight in from Turkey, and just 2 hours from London. Of course, 2 hours down to London and then straight onto Eurostar to get across to the continent of Europe as well. And lots of trains up and down the country to visit Scotland, Ireland and Wales as well. So really convenient located. Historically, we've got a really rich heritage here in Sheffield. We started in 1828 when the community around Sheffield wanted to gain university status for the city. And so people donated a penny of their wages, which was equivalent to about £15 million today. And that meant that we could gain university status in 1905. These penny donations are something which have continued. Obviously, people are now donating slightly more than pennies, but we're really happy that we have alumni and people around the community of Sheffield who do donate money so that we can give scholarships to students. And I'll be telling you a bit more about those scholarships in a bit. So we started with just 114 students, and now we have around 30,000 students from over 150 countries. It's a leading global university, a world top 100 in the QS rankings, and also a member of the prestigious Russell Group, with 92% of our research being rated as world leading or internationally excellent. We've got a long history of welcoming students from all over the world. So we have many student societies, if you're interested in learning other languages, about other cultures, and many of those are based on either the language, culture, dance, movies, even if you just want to make friendships from around the world. Not just in the university, but across the city as well. We've got many celebrations of international culture to participate in, no matter where you're from around the globe. And if you're missing that little bit of home, then we have a range of international restaurants, shops and supermarkets as well. So across the university, we have 50 departments across 5 faculties, and those are within the faculties of science, engineering, medicine, dentistry and health, arts and humanities and social sciences, and a broad range of different subject areas. So if the subject that you're interested isn't within the business management school that we're talking about today, do get in touch with us to find out more about those particular subject areas. In terms of employability, we're top 10 university targeted by graduate employers. So the top employers really are seeking out our graduates for those top graduate employment prospects. We're top 5 for career service within the UK, and that's voted by the students themselves. And 96% of our graduates are in work or further study within 6 months. How do we do this? Well, we help you to achieve the career that you want with things like CV and interview workshops, one-to-one alumni mentoring. We've got leading employers that come onto campus to help talk to students and also to look at the facilities that we have on campus to make sure that you're practicing and gaining experience on the types of equipment that you would need out in industry. We have opportunities for paid placements, volunteering, part-time work through our student employment agency on campus, and you can even be one of our international student ambassadors. And we will help to gain your graduate visa. Once you've finished with your student visa, our international support team can help to get that graduate visa for you to remain in the UK for up to 2 years after you've graduated. But we don't just close the doors and say goodbye when you graduate. You are welcome at the university. We have business enterprise facilities if you're wanting to help set up your own business. And we have huge alumni networks all across the globe. Talking of alumni, we have 6 Nobel Prize winners that have come from the university. I'm not sure whether anybody recognises any of these, but perhaps more notable, more recently, you might recognise some of these outstanding alumni that we have from the University of Sheffield. So who knows, you could be one of our outstanding alumni or even the next Nobel Prize winner for Sheffield. A bit about the campus. We have the #1 students' union in the UK, and this is a political body that runs alongside the university that represents the students and is made by the students. It's where you can join committees and campaigns, also find shops, cafes, cinemas, bars, nightclubs, social space and enterprise hubs. But it's also where you can go for any advice, guidance, well-being on things like immigration, finance, mental health, religion and belief, or absolutely pretty much anything. And in there, we have over 300 different clubs and societies. So no matter what type of hobbies and interests you have, there's always something for you to become involved in. We've got great equipment and facilities on campus. And if there's a club or society that you can't see at Sheffield, then you're welcome to start it up yourself, and we will support you to do that. Obviously, for your academic studies, it's important that we have world-class facilities. So we invest multi-millions of pounds in our teaching and learning equipment. We've got a new social science building and the Bloomberg Trading Suite, which I'm sure Asif will tell you a bit more about later. And as I've said, our industry partners make sure that we're giving you hands-on skills with industry recommended equipment. And for those books, we have libraries across campus which are open 24 hours a day, every single day of the year. It's also important for us to make sure that you have somewhere safe to live. So our accommodation is guaranteed for all international students, and it includes all of your bills. So with the rising cost of living, it's really reassuring for you to know that you won't get a surprise bill for gas or electricity. It's all included, and it will not increase whilst you're at that accommodation at the university. It also includes Residence Life Project, where we offer free events and activities. And it's not only secure and safe, but it's very close to campus as well. Sheffield itself is the joint 3rd most affordable student city in the UK, surrounded by natural beauty if you're interested in outdoor activities. But the centre itself is a thriving city with lots of festivals, independent shopping, and plenty of places to meet with your friends. We're a very international university and city, and we support you every step of the way with an international support team, giving you expert visa advice and even meeting you at the airport. So I know you'll all be keen to hear about scholarships. We do have some excellent scholarships here at the University of Sheffield for undergraduates with great academic merit scores in your high school qualifications. We have scholarships of 50% off your tuition fee, and that's every year of your study, so not just for the first year. Now, this is based on 2023 entry, but this is something we've done for quite a while, and we think this will continue to be the same for 24 entry onwards as well. There's an application for this particular scholarship, but it's just 2 quick questions, and then you must accept your offer of your scholarship, otherwise there's a risk of it going to someone else. So 50% off your tuition fees every year of study at undergraduate level. For postgraduate students, a similar scholarship worth 25% of your tuition fees. Again, no application required for this. There is an application, sorry, for this one, but you must accept your offer, accept your scholarship by the given deadlines. Again, otherwise you risk that going to somebody else. So 25% off your postgraduate fees. If you're not successful with one of those academic merit scholarships, we have scholarships of either £2,000 or £2,500, which is available for all international overseas fee-paying students. There's no application for this one, but you must accept either firm or insurance choice so that we know you're coming. And then we also have the Sanctuary Scholarship. So if you're unfortunate enough to be fleeing war, then we do have scholarships available for students in those situations as well. So do just get in touch with us to find out more. In terms of coming to the university, these are the entry requirements. So for undergraduate courses, we're looking for between 3 A's and 3 B's, which equates to either 32 to 36 in your IB, 3-5 APs if you're doing the American system, or with the Turkish diploma, we're looking for between 72 to 85% in your final year of your Turkish diploma. We will require prerequisite subjects. So if you're going on to science or engineering subjects, for example, then we would need to make sure that you've got maths and science subjects relevant to that course in your final year. If you don't have the relevant course or you don't get the grades, just get in touch with us, because we do have options for you to join one of our foundation programs, either in the UK or in Turkey. For postgraduate students, we're looking for a bachelor degree of between a 2-1 or 2-2. That's how we score them in the UK. And we equate that to a Turkish GPA of 3 out of 4. It will depend on the course that you apply for. Some courses may accept as low as 2.7 out of 4 if you have relevant work experience and strong references as well. And for those of you wanting to go on to postgraduate research, we're looking for a GPA of 3 out of 4, of course, in a relevant subject. So the most important thing for you to do if you're interested in coming to Sheffield is to keep in touch with us and engage. Speak to our current students. We have 2 here to talk to you today, but you can contact our current students on our web pages at /study/chat, and you can select by nationality, by course, or even just a general query about Sheffield, and they'll chat to you and tell you all about their time here in Sheffield. We also have a series of online events. You don't have to be an applicant or offer holder. They are available for everybody to view. Throughout the year, they will be on different subjects such as accommodation, food, hobbies, scholarships, different things throughout the year. So do take a look at the timetable for those as well. And then we have a new video channel, player.sheffield.ac.uk, where you can see lots of videos, some by students, some by the staff members at the university, around the city and on campus. And then, of course, we are available on all the usual social media channels, Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So do get involved and engage with us as much as you can to make sure you've got all the information and all of your questions answered. Now, at this point, you've got the overview of Sheffield. What I'd like to do now is to hand over to my colleague Asif Naeem, who's joining us from the Sheffield Management School. He'll tell us much more about the courses available and the opportunities within that particular area.
Thank you, Julia. And hello again, everyone. Welcome to this this presentation. Can someone confirm if they can see the presentation and hear me?
Yes, we can see and hear you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So to start with, as my colleague mentioned earlier, my name is Asif Naeem, and I am the International Student Recruitment Manager based at Sheffield University's Management School. I recruit students at undergraduate, postgraduate, taught, and postgraduate research levels. I thought it would be good to start with our mission. So at the Management School, our mission is to have a positive impact on working lives, organizations, and societies worldwide, fostering socially responsible management practices through world-class innovative research and transformative education. The mission is then followed by the vision. Our vision as an internationally leading management school is to deliver excellence in research and education that promotes positive social transformation for a fairer, sustainable future. So why choose Sheffield University's Management School? We provide world-class education thanks to our Triple Crown accreditation. Our Triple Crown accreditation puts us within the global elite of business and management schools. We have the accreditation from AACSB, AMBA, which is the Association of MBAs, and IQUIS. Apart from our triple accreditation, we are also ranked 21st for business and management and 25th for accounting and finance in the Complete University Guide last year. 90% of our research is rated in the highest two categories in the Research Excellence Framework 2021. The Research Excellence Framework 2021 is the latest excellence framework that I'm referring to. Then we have professional accreditations. This means that this is a recognition from the industries in which our courses are based in. Professional accreditations often give students exemptions, which mean that they can accelerate progress in their desired career once they do their degree with us. So we have accreditations from Chartered Institute of Procurement and Supply, Chartered Institute of Personal Development, Chartered Institute of Management Accountants, Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, ACCA, Institute of Chartered Accountants in England and Wales, CPA Australia, British Psychological Society, CMI, which is the Chartered Management Institute, Chartered Institute of Marketing, and Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport. Okay, and moving on. The management school is certainly one of the biggest schools within the university. We have approximately 175 academic staff bringing professional experience and research excellence to their teaching. As you can see, most of our staff is within the accounting and financial management division, followed by entrepreneurship, strategy and international business, marketing and creative and cultural industries, and operations management and professional services staff, which involves people like myself. And moving on, up till last year, these numbers are for last year. We have approximately slightly under 2,000 undergraduate, over 2,200 postgraduate taught, and 59 postgraduate research students. Okay. Also, we have a dedicated student experience team who provide backup on academic and pastoral needs and arrange social events, for example, Christmas parties or Chinese New Year, etc. Overall, we are able to provide our students with an amazing student experience. We have state-of-the-art learning and teaching facilities available, which I'm about to explain in a minute. So one of the newer facilities at the management school is our trading room. The trading room has 16 PCs, each with 3 screens and is customized with industry-leading financial software from Bloomberg, which is exactly the same software that is used by industry practitioners worldwide. The system provides users with real-time pricing and news feeds across the full range of asset classes such as shares, bonds, global indices, interest rates, and FX. Then there are regular training sessions that are run. So what I'm trying to say to you is that you can't trade, but you can learn how to trade. And once you learn how to trade, then I think you can start trading by a pound. So this overall stimulates life in the London or New York stock exchanges, bridging the gap between theory and practice, giving students a competitive advantage, of course, when seeking employment. As we are using the Bloomberg software, students will be invited to the London headquarters for a live trading seminar, as well as visiting the management school to delivering trading sessions for students and staff both. Okay. And then moving on to our programs. At the undergraduate level, which is a 3-year course, we have BA Accounting and Financial Management, BA International Business Management, and BA Business Management. If you decide to do that with employment experience, then of course it becomes a 4-year course instead of a 3-year course. Okay. Our undergraduate degrees are also available with dual options, which are called dual degrees at the undergraduate level. So what you can do is that you can do accounting and financial management with economics, and you can also do business and management with economics, or modern languages and cultures, or Chinese studies, or Japanese studies. Okay. Now, at the master's level, we have a wide variety of portfolio of courses available. All of our master's programs are MSc programs, and they are 1-year full-time programs. So we have Creative and Cultural Industries Management, Accounting, Governance and Financial Management, MSc Finance and Accounting, which is one of our most famous courses, MSc International Management and Marketing, MSc Marketing Management Practice, MSc Human Resource Management, which can be done with or without the CIPD pathway, MSc International Management, MSc Information Systems Management, Logistics and Supply Chain, MSc Management, Management with International Business, then Occupational and Work Psychology, and of course, last but not the least, our prestigious MBA course. Please remember, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't require work experience for our master's courses, but we do require the work experience for our MBA course, and that is a minimum of 3 years of graduate level working experience. Okay. So once again, no experience required for any of the courses apart from the MBA. A very quick look at our tuition fees. These tuition fees shown are for last year, which is the current intake, 22-23. So for the undergraduate programs, it is £20,000 for the year, and all the MSc programs, apart from the one shown on the right side of your screen, are £26,200. MPhil and PhD is £20,030. MSc International Management, Creative and Cultural Industries Management, International Management and Marketing, and MSc Marketing Management Practice are dearer at £27,350. MBA, MSc Finance and Accounting, and MSc Accounting, Governance and Financial Management are at £28,500. Supporting our students. And more importantly, how would you be taught? So our teaching is done via lectures, interactive seminars, tutorials, workshops, and online learning resources. The assessment is done via essays or coursework, end of semester exams, online tests, group work, and presentations. Okay. Moving on. In order to support our students, we have every course or program has a course director. Then apart from the directors, we have module leaders, and both of them provide drop-in sessions during office hours, where the students can make appointments with them and then go and meet them. They provide personal tutoring. Every single student is actually assigned a personal tutor. Then we have student academic reps on committee. Then we have a student experience office. Then there is the program administrators. And of course, the Futures First Employability Hub, in other words, which I'll explain in a minute in our upcoming slide. Then we have the well-being officers. So overall, there is a wealth of resources for academic and pastoral needs for our students. So as I mentioned in my previous slide, that every single student would be assigned a personal tutor, and I thought it would be better if I explained this a bit more. Excuse me. The personal tutor is a member of the academic staff within the school. The personal tutor is there to help resolve issues and support you to reach your full potential. The personal tutor will arrange periodical meetings, and all of them sit within the management school, so they're never too far away to get to. If in difficulty, don't wait for your scheduled meeting, of course. Contact your personal tutor and make an appointment by phone, email, or visit during contact hours. Futures First, which in other words is the career and employability hub for our students. The Futures First provides a wide range of resources, which you can see on your screen. So we have career guidance available. Within the career guidance, it's explained how to drive our students, your dreams, your passions, and your ideas. You'll have one-to-one sessions. We have trained career counselors or career advisors that sit within the school. Essentials, everything the ambitious job hunter needs to know or master, from CV writing from a very basic level to developing your personal brand and getting the job you want. Experience, most graduates nowadays also need some work experience. So how do you stand out? We help you find opportunities that you'll get to know the details of in a minute. How to enhance your education and match your aspirations, etc. Professional, we are a part of a new generation, so who will change the way business is done, etc. Global, we are an international school, so there is a global dimension to everything that we do. We want you to develop the confidence, the expertise, and the personal skills to work anywhere. In other words, discovery, we bring in a variety of employers and successful alumni to tell you the things only an insider would know about different types of career. Employability Hub, last but not the least, of course, provides drop-in sessions and you can ask questions or book appointments. Our team and experienced Futures First ambassadors are there to help you every step of the way. Okay, what I'll do is that I'll explain the Employability Hub a bit more in my next slide. So the Employability Hub, as the name suggests, offers advice on career options with your course. We have career consultants, as I mentioned earlier, based in the management school, who provide one-to-one support. For example, creating a CV, interviewing tips, etc. The hub delivers a range of skills, workshops, etc., networking, assessment centers, advertises job vacancies for our students, graduate jobs, summer internships, part-time jobs, etc. Organizes career information and guidance events with employers and industry experts. Support students in the placement year process. Okay. The career advice, as I mentioned earlier, is given by 2 career consultants. They help you with career planning, identifying career options, finding graduate jobs, placements, internship opportunities, how to write a CV, succeeding at interviews, assessment centers, developing your network, and making the most of career events and opportunities to meet employers face to face. So the undergraduate degree, all of our undergraduate degrees can be done with employment experience. And it's up to the student to do that. Placement year takes place between the second and the final year of study. Hence, I mentioned earlier that instead of 3 years, you'll be finishing your degree in 4 years. The range of roles in a variety of industries can be based anywhere in the UK or even overseas. It's a valuable opportunity to put what you have learned so far into practice. And our students in the past have done placements in these companies. So you would see PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, to Hayes, to Boeing, to Airbus, to Unilever, to L'Oreal, etc. I believe HSBC and Disney should be added to this slide as well, which I will later. But as you can see that, you know, you have quite powerful brands represented on this screen that work with us. What our students have to say about us. Cindy from Taiwan, who did MSc Marketing Management Practice with us. I would leave it to you to quickly scan through. She chose to study the MSc Marketing Management Practice because she wanted to explore and learn more than just theory, which I think is a very valid and important point. And then we have Charalambos from Cyprus, who did BA Business Management with us. Ali, BA Accounting and Financial Management. Sandra Yam from Malaysia, BA Accounting and Financial Management. Followed by Liam, MSc Marketing Management Practice. And finally, Stephen from Canada, who was our MBA student. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we'll have a Q&A session towards the end, but these are my details in case anyone wants to contact me. Feel free to, by all means, always here to help. So what I'll do now is that I'll stop sharing my slides, and I would invite one of our student ambassadors, Serena, to come and do it. Thank you very much once again, everyone.
Thank you, Asif. I'll take over right now. So I'm going to share my screen. I hope everyone could see this. I'm just going to enlarge it. Sorry. Yeah. Is this okay? Can everyone see the screen? All good. Perfect. Hi, everyone. I am Serena Wong, and I am a final year international business management student with employability experience and year abroad. So it's quite a mouthful, and I'll dissect that to you. On the screen right now, you'll see kind of the places that Sheffield has allowed me to venture into, and that's solely because of the degree of international business. I got to spend a year abroad in Europe, and then I did a placement in a different city as well. So I got to travel a lot during my university. So to start off, I just want to introduce you a little bit about my first year. I am a Malaysian student, so it's a 16-hour direct flight, but I'm also a merit scholarship holder. So Julia mentioned earlier that international students are entitled to, apply for this very, very prestigious scholarship that allows you a 50% waiver. It's not impossible to achieve. I'm standing right here. It just takes a little bit of storytelling in your application, a bit of genuine and creativity to shine through. With that scholarship, I think it really helped alleviate a lot of the financial burden for my parents, but also allowed me to sort of allocate more funding to do things I've always wanted to do. So living in the other side of the world, I never got to, visit Europe much, or this part of the continent much. And I knew I wanted to have money saved up to travel, to try new sports, try new things, to, experience life a little differently. And I got to do all of that. I think in my first year, a little bit about the academic side, I had set modules that I couldn't really deviate from, but I did get an optional module which I was allowed to choose any modules from any other department. So I chose to do a language module. I chose to do German, whereas I had friends and peers who did, psychology, law, philosophy even. So if that's something you're interested in, like branching out a little bit to see what other departments can offer, that's definitely something you can do. And then on to my second year, which is the integrated year abroad. I chose to stay within Europe, within EU, but I have friends who went to Canada, who went to US, who went to Singapore, basically everywhere else in the world. And they go to top tier universities in the management field. So I went to WU, Vienna University of Business and Economics. It's one of the top universities in management in the world. They're very different in the sense of how they structure their courses. So Sheffield prides itself as a research-based university. So a lot of our courses are, related to the most current and up-to-date research that our lecturers are pursuing or undertaking, whereas in Vienna or in most of the European partner universities, the courses are very specialized, a little smaller as well. So you get to do different things like cryptocurrency. I learned blockchain. I had a lecturer who was a women representative on the UN Council, and I learned about sustainability management with her. So I learned a bit of law. I learned a bit about digital marketing. So I did a lot of different courses that I was really interested in, and I always thought maybe it would be cool to just discover a little bit more in your second year before deciding on your third year which area you like to specialize in. It was also my first time in Europe, and living in Austria, it meant that I was in Central Europe, so I got to travel a lot. This was also in peak pandemic time. This was actually 2 years ago. So there were a lot of restrictions, but I did manage to travel a lot. I met a lot of different friends from all over the world, literally. Friends who I still keep in contact and visit every year when I go back to Vienna. And I unlocked new milestones. So on the screen, the last picture, you see me and my few other friends from Ukraine, Iran. We did a 70-kilometer unplanned bike tour to the middle of nowhere. I was very sore for a few days. Would not recommend unless you're a pro cyclist. Then I finished off my year abroad, and I moved into a new city, Bristol in the UK. It's down south, and I pursued a year in industry, or a placement, or a basically year-long internship with a company as a management consultant. So earlier I mentioned I did a bit of blockchain and cryptocurrency. They're very tech-heavy modules during my year abroad. And that sort of fostered a sense of curiosity and, a really deep-rooted interest in technology. So I did a lot of courses on my own as well to gain that confidence in applying and working in an engineering firm. So I worked at SNC-Lavalin's Atkins. Atkins is a project management, engineering, and design consultancy. So we work with the Ministry of Defense. When it comes to defense and aerospace, we work a lot with sort of critical national infrastructures like, Manchester Airport, the Heathrow Airport in London, all the major city infrastructures. They are contracts to Atkins. So I got to work with quite a big company as a management consultant, where I specialized in AI, artificial intelligence, and machine learning capability development for the company. I was working with strategizing how they could build that, tech, how they can build that digital portfolio within the company. This allowed me to travel within the UK to understand the what the different groups are working on, to meet new clients, for example. And ultimately, I got to really bring the insights that I had from university and make real world impacts and deliver value to clients and to projects. I have a business background, but I've always been interested in things that, I'm not familiar with. So I wanted to try a little bit more of the engineering aspects of the project. So I started shadowing a lot of our technical leads, and I learned a lot about change management and technical translation, which essentially is dissecting big or hard to understand engineering concepts into something that's a bit easier to digest for different levels of understanding. So from that, I realized actually I love thinking like an engineer, and it's an area that I would love to continue, exploring post-graduation. So I moved to a new city for this. This is like the third time I've moved, literally packed my bags and moved. I met new friends. I lived with people who I also worked with. And I picked up new interests, I picked up new sports. I also got to travel a lot more during this year. I got to meet my friends who I met in Vienna again as well. So this is all that took place during my year in industry. And lastly, as I mentioned, I'm currently in my final year. So this essentially is the last hurrah. In my first year, it was basically affected by Miss Coronavirus. So I didn't really get to enjoy the full extent of what university could have been for me. But I want to give you a little glimpse of what it could have been. So I did everything that I wish I did in my first year this year. First, on the academics aspect, I came back with a greater appreciation to what I was taught in the previous years. A lot of times we think, oh, is this even relevant in 2 years' time? Do I really have to learn this formula, that formula? And you never really know until you actually got to experience it in the year in industry. And that's what I did. Once I saw how relevant the things I've learned is in a world, like a working environment, I came back just, appreciating all the lectures a bit more. And also, having done that year abroad, I have identified areas that I didn't like and areas that I did like. So coming back, I knew which modules I wanted to, explore further in, like learn more about. And that just helped narrow the scope for me. And it just allowed me to focus more on learning the things to a greater extent, to a greater depth. I picked up a uni sport. So here in the picture, second picture with the skeleton, that's me and Ronnie. If you're wondering, we're not sisters, we just have the same surname. But we both joined the squash society. I also decided that I wanted to run the Sheffield half marathon, which was my first half marathon, with the squash society to raise money for the local children's hospital. And I also built a snowman in the last picture, which was my first time building a snowman. So lots of firsts in this picture, basically. But essentially, I am now about to graduate. I'm in my last semester. In about 3 months' time, I'm going to pack my bags. I'm going to move to London. I have secured a grad job with the same company, Atkins. And for some of you who know the struggles of visa, I happen to found work with a big company who is not only, offering me a grad job for the next 2 years in London, but they're also sponsoring my work visa. So that's something to, if you are interested in, you can reach out to any one of us to ask about like what kind of employers offer these kind of visa. Earlier, we mentioned about Futures First. I'm also a Future First ambassador. So this is the first year that we've run an initiative where we partner students who've just come back from their year abroad or their placement year with second year students to help them find their placements or internships. So eventually, when you're coming to Sheffield, you're not going to be left alone in figuring out what to do after you've graduated. You'll have a lot of support from people like myself. With that, I'm going to end it here, and I'm going to hand it over to Bronnie.
You're muted, Bronnie.
Sorry. Thanks, Serena. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. Okay. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, lovely. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Bronnie. I'm from Singapore and I'm studying international business with study abroad at the University of Sheffield. And I'm just going to share a bit about myself and what I've been doing at university. So yeah, this is just a whole roadmap of my 4 years in uni. So I'm in my final year, in my 4th year at the moment. So I came from Singapore and then I moved to Sheffield in my 1st year. And then in 2nd year, I did my year abroad. I did it in Copenhagen Business School. And then in my 3rd year, I did a placement year. So I did it with L'Oreal. And I also actually did a summer internship with PwC, which I'll talk more about later. And currently now I'm back here in Sheffield for my final year. So 1st year, I did join like a lot of societies. Obviously, it's a new country for me. It would be same for, I think, all of you. So I just wanted to like just try out new things. So, but I also wanted to feel comfortable and at home. So what I actually did was I joined the tennis society because I did play tennis in school. So I just wanted to continue that and meet new friends as well. So that's what I did. And I also joined the Singapore Society because, well, I am from Singapore and I just wanted to feel at home. So I joined the Singapore Society. I think there is also a very big Turkish society in Sheffield as well. And there is a program called Give It a Go. So I think this program is really good if you want to try out things, and it's also really affordable. So if you want to try out cheerleading, if you want to go to York for a day, go to Newcastle for a day, the university offers these like kind of events that you can sign up and go for. So I think in one of the pictures, I went to Oxford and somewhere in Wales, I can't remember. And I think I only paid like £25 for the whole day, which is really affordable. So yeah, that's one thing that you can think about when you join Sheffield. And also on top of that, I was thinking of getting a part-time job as well. So that's also what I did in 1st year. I did a part-time job at a restaurant in the city, which was not really far. It's like, I think a 25-minute walk for me, which was really convenient. And I also get to choose my shifts, so that was really good for me. And one thing I did in 1st year was actually I lived in student accommodation. So I think, was it Julia that mentioned that you have 100% guaranteed student accommodation. Some of them can be catered, fully catered, meaning you have food provided every meal. And it can be non-catered. So mine was non-catered, and I lived in a student city called Renmore, which is probably about a 30-minute walk from uni, which is not bad at all, really. And it's a very nice area. And then in my 2nd year, so this is when I did my year abroad, and I did it in Copenhagen. Unfortunately, it was COVID year, so I couldn't make the full use of it. But even despite that, I still had a lot of fun. So if you are planning to do international business and you're doing a year abroad, in your 1st year, I think in October or November, you'll be actually asked to kind of select the universities that you want to go to, like the top or the countries you want to go to. And then you'll be put in for an interview, a friendly interview. They just want to ask you what your motivation is to choose this country, because, well, there are a lot of countries that you can go to, like America, Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore, etc. So I think a lot of popular ones like Australia, there are only like certain number of spots. So they just want to make sure that every student gets to go to the places that they want to go. So yeah, that's just the process that I wanted to touch on. And yeah, so I chose Copenhagen because it's in the EU. And I just did it at Copenhagen Business School. And it was really, really cool because I did really interesting modules. There was one about emerging markets, there was behavioral finance, and just the things, modules that are like very specific to Copenhagen Business School, which I got to try. And also lived in a student dorm, so it's a lot easier to make friends. It's like all these pictures, these are all my dorm mates that I've met in both semesters. And yeah, I really had a really, really good time. And in my 3rd year, this is my placement year. So placement year is basically a year-long internship. And what actually makes Sheffield stand out from other universities in the UK for me is because I get the option to do a placement year on top of a year abroad. So I know like other universities like Leeds and Liverpool, they don't, your year abroad is in your 3rd year. So it's a 4-year program. But for Sheffield, it's a 3-year program, and you have the flexibility to actually add on a placement year if you want to. So in 1st year, when I first came, I was like, no, I just want to finish the 3 years and graduate and just work. But then after second year, I was like, maybe I do want to get some work experience before I graduate. And yeah, Sheffield gave me the opportunity to do that. They were very, very happy when I said that I wanted to do a placement year at L'Oreal. So yeah, they were very happy and supported me with that. And I took a year out basically to do this. So I did my placement year in L'Oreal in London office. And that was really amazing because I got to live in London for a whole year. I got to explore the city. And also because it's L'Oreal, I have so many free products. I literally have a whole luggage full of it right now. So that's really, really fun. And on top of that, I also found out L'Oreal, I really like the company, but they don't offer visa sponsorships for a graduate. So if I graduate and I want to return to L'Oreal, they can't sponsor me. I have to pay for my own visa. I think that would be a situation for you as well, for Turkey. So that's when I started searching for summer internships, and I actually landed one with PwC. So PricewaterhouseCoopers, they actually, I forgot to mention, I did supply chain at L'Oreal, but I decided to do consulting with PwC. So I'm doing tech consulting. I did tech consulting at PwC for 6 weeks in the Leeds office. And yeah, so yeah, it was great. And the best part is that they offer the grad job as well, and they will pay for my visa. So that is like one major thing that made me join PwC as well. So yeah, this is my third year. And after this hectic few years, I am now back in Sheffield for my final year. Right now I live actually with Serena and another Polish housemate, and we live in Crooksmoor. I kind of want to mention this because Crooksmoor is an area 10 minutes away from the university, whereas in first year I lived in a student accommodation, which is actually half an hour walk away. But it is a lot easier to make friends there, and usually in first year people would stay in student accommodations so they can make friends, mingle around. And then in your second year, they will kind of move out into private accommodation, into like houses, usually in the Crooksmoor area. But it's completely up to you where you want to live. I still have friends that live in student accommodations in the city. Yeah, so final year at university, I kind of want to be more involved. So I also joined squash again. I joined squash instead of tennis, actually, because I didn't like playing tennis in the cold. So I did an indoor sports instead. So yeah, university is great for trying out new things. And also because of my placement year, I actually managed to secure part-time jobs as a student ambassador and also a PwC ambassador for the university. So these are additional things that I do instead of taking a part-time job at a restaurant, because these can actually support me quite well already. And that's all thanks to my previous experiences. So yeah, I would thank you for listening.
Thank you much. That's incredible, Serena and Ronnie. Some really great student stories there. So I hope that's inspired you to all the different opportunities and experiences that you can become involved in. I think very quickly, we have a couple of words from Zainab from our agent Educas. If you have any queries about applying to the UK, applying to Sheffield, and you would like support with your applications, your visa, and to find out about funding opportunities, then Educas can help you. So I'll hand over to Zainab now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just thank you for all the information. I think it was really, really useful for everyone. And I'm always here to help you with your application and with all of your questions. And I need to translate it into Turkish as well. So let me speak in Turkish again. Merhabalar herkese. İlk öncelikle katıldığınız için çok teşekkür ederiz. Eminim ki sunum hepiniz için çok faydalı ve iyi olmuştur. Eğer herhangi bir sorunuz olursa ya da başvurmak istiyorsanız benimle ve Educas'la her zaman iletişime geçebilirsiniz. Her konuda size yardımcı olmaktan memnuniyet duyarız. Hiçbir sorunuzun saçma olduğundan veya hani acaba sorsam ayıp olur mu diye düşünmeyin. Çünkü biz her zaman bu sorulara cevap vermek için buradayız. Tekrardan teşekkür ederiz. Thank you for everything.
Thank you, Zeynep. So you are welcome to get in touch with Educas. Obviously, I don't speak fluent Turkish. I wish I did. But hopefully I will be out in Turkey in the autumn at fairs and exhibitions. So look out for universities in the UK visiting Turkey and come and speak to us in person. One very quick question, which we've got for our student ambassadors. Was it hard for you to get used to the UK because of the cultural differences? Who wants to take that one?
Yeah, okay, I can take it. So I think coming to the UK, it's I would say it's quite an interesting experience because firstly, it's getting used to the accent. Because I see Julia smiling. Because yeah, the English accent can be quite strong, but to be honest, everyone is really friendly. Sheffield is known as like, they have the Sheffield welcome because everyone is so friendly here. I've never met anyone that's like ever like said no when I requested for help or anything like that. And to be honest, everything's in English, so it's very easy to read and very easy to navigate around. The university has a lot of things, a lot of support if you need any help. So yeah, I think cultural differences. I think for me, there wasn't many cultural differences. I think it's more about, I think my main struggle was all the hills in Sheffield. Sheffield is very hilly, just FYI. But that is the same for the all the northern cities. So yeah,
it's not well as hilly as well, so it's fine.
Yeah.
If I could just add to that, so like Bonnie and I speak like English almost as if it's like our first language. So in terms of like acclimating to the language here, it wasn't really a big struggle for us. But I know when I was like calling my mom and like she would hear my friends from Scotland and like, you know, down south, she would get really confused, and I can see where she's coming from. But a lot of times you're in an environment where people will understand if you're struggling. They'll like enunciate things slower. They're very helpful. They help you out, and along the way you'll pick up phrases that are like really funny, and next thing you know, you're almost used to it. And so you kind of ease into it like quite easily after a while. It's not going to be easy, I'm not going to lie. When I first moved to the UK, I spent months being really homesick. I was crying. I just like didn't enjoy it really. But you know, it's really that year for you to fall in love with spending time with yourself and like understanding like, oh, what are your strengths? Like, what would you enjoy doing? And giving yourself that opportunity to actually have time to explore those interests that you were curious about, but never had that time to do so. So once you actually get into that cycle of rhythm, you know, you're going to classes, you're trying new societies. There are over 300 societies in Sheffield University. So many to try. And we even have those give it to go sessions where you could try random societies just by paying like a small fee. So you could try boxing, you could try like karate, could try tap dancing, for example. By allowing yourself to try new things and like falling in love with just like having time to yourself, you'll slowly get into that rhythm and you'll forget that you're like, you know, miles and miles away from home.
Perfect. Home away from home. That's what we like to call Sheffield.
Yeah.
Great. Just one thing to add. Also, like Sheffield also has like a lot of food scenes and cafes. Mm-hmm. So it's really nice. Like me and Serena and a few of our other friends would just go out for coffee every other week and meet up with friends. There are also lots of nice Turkish places in Sheffield. One is Jimmy's.
Jimmy's really Kitchen is my favorite. Literally the best food.
So if you do want to find out more, you can chat to our student ambassadors on our web pages, engage with them in social media, contact myself or Asif, or as I've said, you can contact our agent Educas in Turkey and find out more information. And hopefully I'll see you in Turkey or in Sheffield before long. So thank you very much for joining us today. If you've missed any of today's webinar, it has been recorded and it will be put on the IEFT YouTube channel, and we will share it from the university and from Educas in Turkey as well. So thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you very much for the great presentation all, and we would like to also thank the participants in Turkish as well. Katıldığınız için teşekkür ederiz arkadaşlar. Umarım sizin için de faydalı bir webinar olmuştur. Bir sonraki webinarımızda görüşmek üzere. Thank you very much again, you guys. You covered all of the questions also. Thank you very much for your answers. And it was nice to have you in IEFT Talks, and hope to see you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.